sluggard does not plow in season, so at harvest time he looks but finds nothing. I got to tell you, I talk to a lot of people, and I'm trying to counsel people who live in the finding nothing. And I can't tell them today that 6 months ago they needed to plow. I can't do that. They're currently living in the nothing. They're looking and they're finding nothing. They're currently there, and there's nothing I can do. It hurts me. It really wounds my heart when I look at someone and I say, listen, there was a season you should have been plowing. Maybe that means for you investing in some education. That's plowing the ground, tilling it up, getting ready for something to grow. Maybe that means you can tell that your industry is going downhill, and so you need to find something else on the side, and you're going to work something else. I don't know what that might mean, but every one of us has a season in which to do some plowing. And then look at this other one. He who works his land will have abundant food, but the one who chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. God has given you gifts and talents and resources, and if you work those, you will find success. But if you chase after all the other stuff, you won't. I suffer with some form of degenerate ADD that I don't even know what it is. It's something along, never been diagnosed. I feel it. And so I want to run around and do all kinds of crazy things. During the week, I would love to build an internet business. I would love to sell commodities. I just have all these other kinds of things that I think would be interesting for like about a day. And so I'm interested in them and I want to chase, but if I chase them, then I'm not working my land. I'm not working the land God gave me, and then I'm going to find myself in that fill of poverty location. Okay, here's another one. Stupid choice, gluttony. This is appropriate for our society today. It's appropriate for me, and it's appropriate for Vince. So, as he mentioned before, earlier. Okay, so this last week, a friend of mine posted on Facebook a status about how your weight issues have nothing to do with the chemicals the food manufacturers are putting in their food. It has to do with the food you're putting in your face. And so then a lot of people jumped on this guy's back because they were telling him he was rude, and I'm cheering him on. I'm like, dude, that was awesome. Let's bring it. Because I need to hear someone say that to me all the time. So look at this. Proverbs 23, when you sit to dine with a ruler, note well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you're given to gluttony. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Here's the deal. We today enjoy the kind of food that only kings enjoyed in previous generations. Our food has butter in it and meat in it. And our food has cheese on it and in it and under it. We have the kind of food that only kings ate years before. Yesterday, I spent $1 at Burger King and got something that only a king could have in ages before. And yet I'm grubbing this thing down for $1. Listen, we live in a society where we have ruler type of food, and yet that food is deceptive. I ate $1 hamburger, which was all the calories I should consume, and I was hungry afterwards. Duh. But that food is deceptive. Here's another one. Look at this one. It's not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honorable to seek one's own honor. Like a city whose walls are broken down is a man who lacks self-control. Ladies, if you know a guy who lacks self-control, run. Just get away. Guys, this is like a city whose walls are broken down is a person who lacks self-control. Your self-control is what keeps you, as opposed to what the outside world is going to make you into. Okay, another stupid choice. Revenge is a pretty stupid choice. Look at this verse here from Proverbs 17:13. If a man pays back evil for good, evil will never leave his house. Circle that if it connects with you. The next stupid choice is arguing. I'm telling you this, arguing, is a biblical stupid choice. Watch. Proverbs 17:14 says this, starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam. So drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. But he's wrong. Drop the matter. But I'm right. Drop the matter. Listen, it's more important sometimes to just avoid being in the overflow of a dam than it is to be proven right. And frankly, he's not going to buy it that you're right. That other person, he's going to think he's right. And you can argue all day long until finally it degenerates into one person trying to break the other person down. Guys and ladies in marriages, arguing is out. You may have a discussion if you're adult enough to have a discussion. You may have a reasoned conversation about items you disagree regarding, but you don't argue because arguing is breaking a dam. And how many of you have the resources in a marriage or in any other kind of relationship to put together a dam once the river started to flow? It's just, you just got to say no. Drop it. Okay, here's another stupid choice. This relates to the previous one. This stupid choice is anger. Look at this verse, Proverbs 17 still. A lot of good stuff in 17. A man of knowledge uses words with restraint, and a man of understanding is even-tempered. Words with restraint. And then look at this other one. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. I talked to a guy a while ago, and he just absolutely, he went off on a friend of mine. Both these guys were my friends. This one guy was my friend, this other guy's my friend, and this guy went off on this guy, cursed him out, yelled some nasty things at him. And so I talked to this guy, and I was like, dude, what's that all about? Use words with restraint, man. What's that all about? And he said, man, I'm just a passionate guy. I'm just a passionate, sometimes it gets a hold of me. Well, a fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. Okay? I don't know if you got to circle that one or box that one or both, but do whatever you got to do there. So those are some stupid moral choices, but the Bible also tells us about some relationship choices that we make that aren't so bright. Okay, so here's one. Here's a stupid relationship choice. Angry friends. And look at this verse. Check this out. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered. Okay, ladies who are married, you've already got him. So you gotta address this question maybe from the previous one of, put a box around the previous one or something, but don't make friends. If you have a friend who pops off at the slightest provocation, why bother? I mean, is it really necessary to maintain that kind of friendship? It says right there, don't even associate with someone who's easily angered. Okay, here's another one, another stupid relationship choice. Gossiping friends. Okay, check this out. A gossip betrays a confidence. So avoid a man who talks too much. I guess that means none of you are going to talk to me afterwards, huh? No, I'm not a gossip. I just talk a lot. Usually on Sundays. But a gossip betrays a confidence. So avoid a man who talks too much. Avoid a woman who talks too much. It's just not worth it for you to invest your heart in someone who can't be trusted. Don't even bother. Okay? Here's another one. Stupid relationship choice. Many acquaintances. Now check this out. This passage, I love this passage. It's crazy. It says, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. How many of you would say that you've spent most of your life keeping people just at an arm's distance from you? You've got lots of people in this circle. You've got lots of Facebook friends. They're like 400 or 500, 600 people on your Facebook list. They're all at an arm's distance from you. But you don't have any friend that you would say is closer to you than a brother. There's another passage in Proverbs that I'm not quoting here today, but it says this. It says, when you're in trouble, don't call your family. Better a neighbor than a brother who lives far away. And how many of us could say that we've got a relationship with our neighbors that's so good, so strong, that if I'm in trouble, I can go to them before even needing to go to my family? Here's the thing. You can have lots of people at an arm's distance and still come to ruin. But if you have 1, 2, 3, just a couple close friends, you've got family. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those are some stupid relationship choices, and we're almost done with the dumb. So hang on. Some stupid financial choices. Here you go. Security. I'll explain what that means. Security means when you sign your name for someone else's loan. Putting up security for someone else's debt is when my friend wants to buy a car and I need to sign his loans because he doesn't have any good credit. And so I'm going to sign on the dotted line so that he can get a car. Security means when my friend doesn't have a cell phone or a cell phone plan. They can't afford one, but they claim they need one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign my name on their cell phone plan, regardless of how many minutes they use, regardless of how many text messages they send. I'm going to sign my name and be personally responsible for that. Security is when I put my name on the line for someone else's stupidity. Okay? You are not an insurance company. Don't try to be. Look at this. It says, Proverbs 17:18, a man lacking in judgment strikes hands in pledge and puts up security for his neighbor. You don't ever want to be responsible for someone else's dumb choice. It's just not wise on your part. Another stupid financial decision is debt. How many of you have made this stupid decision? I'm raising my hand. In America, we have been sold the lie that debt is how you get ahead. Okay? Now, this doesn't make sense. This is like saying, I'm going to dig a hole, and because it's so deep, I need to keep digging so I can get out. Debt is like, I'm just going to keep on digging, and yet we buy this. They say, in order to get ahead, you have to go into debt somehow, for some reason. Much of our society is based on this, but look at this verse here. It says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Do you realize every time you enter into a debt relationship, you become a slave? You can't make your choices. You can't make your decisions. If you needed to up and leave your job because your boss was asking you to do something immoral or wrong, you can't do it because you can't afford to. If you go 2 weeks without a paycheck, you're going to be completely ruined. Listen, a lot of us in this room are in that place.